Back here live again on Ohio News and Weather. We're back live again because we do have another tornado warning that is in effect. This tornado warning is in effect for Youngstown and portions of the Mahoning Valley. This tornado warning will continue for the next 37 minutes. So let's get right down to it. We've noticed that some rotation has occurred here in this region. Let's take a look at radar over the last several minutes or so. This storm really has developed over southern Trumbull County, over places like Girard and Hubbard. Those are locations that are also in the tornado warning. Again, this tornado warning will expire at 7:15 this evening, but we'll see how long this does continue. Again, downtown Youngstown, Struthers, Camel, Hubbard, Girard, Liberty Township, all in this tornado warning. This does not include Austintown or Lordstown or Niles, but these are some significantly populated areas in the Youngstown metro area that are currently under this tornado warning. So let's take a look at what's going on here. We're looking at a scan from the Cleveland radar. We can also take a look at the scan from the Pittsburgh radar. And just where I'm concerned that we have some area of rotation is essentially over Liberty right now. Some landmarks like the Youngstown Country Club and I-80, State Route 11 just to the west of that. That is where some rotation is showing up. It doesn't appear to be very strong rotation at this time, but we are tracking this tornado warning. I'm going to update my title for make sure we've got this right. Tornado warning coverage 7/21/26. All right, there we go. I just wanted to make sure that we were adequately advertising this stream here live on Ohio News and Weather. It's been a busy afternoon. We've had lots of different severe storms that have popped up, and this one's just one of many that have caused some trouble in the area. All right, so I'm not seeing super broad rotation on the Pittsburgh radar at this time. And if I loop it, we can see the area that has the National Weather Service concerned. It is an area of broad rotation. I don't believe a tornado is on the ground, but if there were going to be a tornado developing, it would be Liberty Township in Trumbull County and the north side of Youngstown in Mahoning County. We can also look at this from the Cleveland radar and see if we get a better view, and we really don't. It looks like we get the best view out of this from the Pittsburgh radar. So again, if you are in Youngstown, Camel, Struthers, Hubbard, Girard, Liberty Township, you really should be in your safe spot as a tornado could develop at any time. This is a serious situation in Mahoning County and the Valley region of Northeast Ohio. And this was one thing I was a little concerned about. Earlier this evening when we did have some storms coming off of Lake Erie. In fact, we had, let's take a look at the overall setup. We do have that line of thunderstorms that was coming off of Lake Erie that is still producing severe weather in Pennsylvania, including another tornado warned storm near Titusville, Pennsylvania. But the main one we're concerned about here is near Youngstown. There is a little hook on it. Right over Liberty Township. So there is evidence that this storm has been rotating. So we are going to keep a very close eye on that. We also did briefly have a portion of Lawrence County all the way down here in southern Ohio that was under a tornado warning. We still have a tornado warning for Huntington, West Virginia. For this storm near Huntington, West Virginia, it was the same storm that was produced a tornado near Amelia, Ohio, almost 3 hours ago. Still tornado warnings down further south in Kentucky. So still a lot of active weather in Kentucky and West Virginia. And we've even started to see a few more little heavy downpours develop across the Buckeye State. We do have a heavy downpour near Washington Courthouse that has developed. Another one out here, Heath and Newark. These are not severe. These I'm not concerned about, but we are going to watch them just because of the active day that we've had. But really, the one area that we're most concerned about right now is this tornado warning in the Youngstown area. So, again, tornado warning for Mahoning and Trumbull County for the next 30 minutes or so. Let's see what the National Weather Service is saying about it. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Hilltop or near Youngstown. And they're expecting this storm to continue to impact the area. It is not moving very fast. So if we take a look at it, we can see how the storm is kind of stalled out over Liberty and Hubbard. And of course, because of its proximity, we are concerned about the region. You see that red arrow? It's right there near the Youngstown Country Club, US 62, that would be most concerned to see any rotation or a tornado develop. There's not a whole lot of strong evidence that a tornado is currently threatening, like an active on the ground tornado, but that is the area if it were to develop, and they can develop quickly. That's where it would be. I don't see any debris being wafted, so I don't think we have a tornado on the ground. All I really see here is just some moderate rotation right here, Liberty Township and Hubbard is really where the concerning area is. But because Youngstown is so close, Youngstown is in the warning, and we could potentially even see this shift down to Camel and Struthers as well. All right, let's go back to the Pittsburgh radar and see if we see anything different on the Pittsburgh radar. Not much. With the Youngstown area being on both, or in between both the Cleveland and Pittsburgh radars, we can often switch back and forth and see if we see different features on either radar site. And sometimes we can even get a view from the Pittsburgh Airport radar down here in the Beaver area, but not seeing anything other than some decent rotation. We definitely have some rotation here between Liberty and Hubbard. It isn't all that strong though, so I'm wondering if this storm initially had some tight rotation, and then that rotation is kind of diminished a little. Well, I don't know. We do have this area right here. Again, still by the Youngstown Country Club, US 62, that could be tightening up into something here. So if you're anywhere in Hubbard or Liberty, even the north side of Youngstown, you really need to be watching out for this. This could tighten up into a brief tornado right here. So some more landmarks. Again, the Youngstown Country Club, the Pine Lakes Country Club, I-80, US 62, State Route 304, and then even into Hubbard. So Hubbard, you are under a tornado warning. And this tornado warning is going to last until 7:15. So we'll stick with it at least until the warning has expired or the threat has diminished. And it's right here between US 62 and I-80. So that's what we're looking at right now. Okay. Looking elsewhere, though, that is the only storm that is active right now in Ohio that is causing any major concerns. But I will do a big picture look at what's going on just to show you what's really happening. So again, we do have that one tornado warning near Youngstown. And it looks like we have an update on it, so I'm going to get back to that in just a second. But we do have some heavy downpours that have developed right along US 36, stretching from Darke County all the way back toward Marion and Lexington, Belleville, Mount Gilead, Coshocton, Buckeye Lake region, and even Washington Courthouse. I'm not too concerned about these. These are just some lingering storms. I don't see any rotation in any of them. I don't even see a lot of lightning, but the cold front is on its way. The cold front that's been responsible for all of this is passing through, and I think these are using up any leftover energy that we still have after today's severe weather as the front passes. And then tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day, sunny, highs in the 70s. We're going to get this out of here. We still do have a lot of flash flooding going on in southern Ohio near Marietta, where all of these polygons that you see on your screen are all flash flood warnings. Several of which are going to expire within the hour still. Some of them are going to be with us for quite some time because of all the rain that fell earlier today. I don't think we're going to see that level of rain continue this evening in this region. We're going to see some recovery, but the threat of flooding is still a problem there. All right, let's go back to our tornado warning. Again, this is the only tornado warning and only severe weather alert other than the flash flooding that we just talked about. And we do have an update. So what I mean by that is it looks like the Weather Service has trimmed the tornado warning a little bit. So Girard is no longer in the tornado warning. But Hubbard still is. In fact, if you're in Hubbard, you really do need to be in your safe spot. I want to say that I think downtown Youngstown and Camel is okay. They even actually trimmed Struthers and Boardman out of it as well. So Struthers and Boardman, you're okay. Camel, you're in the warning, but honestly, I think the real threat is up here in Hubbard. So right now, we have a tornado warning that is impacting Hubbard, with the north side of Youngstown still needing to be cautious here. All right, so I'm not seeing, again, I'm still not seeing a super strong rotation signature here. This is the Pittsburgh radar and this is the Cleveland radar. We do have, if we're going to see anything, it's right here. But the rotation's there, and we could see a tornado drop briefly and then go away, or drop briefly and do some damage. So again, this is a serious situation right near the Pine Lakes Golf Club, right on the south side of Hubbard, and it's really moving through central Hubbard right now. So State Route 616, which is also US 62 once you get to the north side of Hubbard. We also have Memorial Stadium there in Hubbard. Again, these are just some landmarks that are under this tornado warning. I really do believe that Camel and Struthers are okay. Even downtown Youngstown, I think, is okay at this point. But still in the tornado warning, it doesn't hurt to be cautious here. Liberty, I think this is leaving the Liberty Township area. I think everything is okay there. So just to kind of give you an overall, of what's going on here. If you're out in Lake Milton, you're okay. If you're hearing tornado sirens across Mahoning County, you're okay. It's really only this small portion east and north of Youngstown that I'm concerned about at this time. And the same goes for Trumbull County. Trumbull County is very large. Farmington, Mesopotamia, Mecca, all of you are perfectly fine. It's just the Hubbard area in Trumbull County that I'm concerned about at this time. So there is some weak rotation over Hubbard right now, pretty much over Hubbard. That's really where it is. And we're getting this data from the Cleveland radar. Let's switch back to Pittsburgh really quick. Okay. Pittsburgh radar does have a little more well-defined rotation right here along US 62. Again, Hubbard is the same area. Maplewood Park. Some other roads that need to be concerned would be Jacobs Road that runs north-south from Youngstown into Hubbard. So this would be the part of Youngstown that is not downtown Youngstown, but the far northeastern corner of Youngstown. So, all right, we are I'm hearing some comments. Sorry, I just saw the comments that we have some Youngstown stations that have reported that a tornado did touch down. Okay, and some spotter network reports of a funnel. Okay, so then we are going to treat this as if a tornado is on the ground. Um, and I appreciate all the reports because what's happening here is while we do have both the Cleveland and the Pittsburgh radar, they're not super close. So we're still scanning up into the atmosphere. So um, we do have a report of a tornado on the ground. And the Weather Service in Cleveland has confirmed it as well. A confirmed tornado located over Maplewood Park or near Youngstown. So again, oh wow. Okay, so this is actually a different section. So this is actually down this way. Let's back this up here. I'm not sure why the Weather Service is saying that Camel is under the gun because Maplewood Park's all the way up here. Maplewood Park is where I see the rotation. So Hubbard is the town that Hubbard is where I would be concerned about. Northeast Youngstown, Maplewood Park, and Hubbard. Camel, I'm not so sure. I would say Camel's probably okay here, but either way, you're in the tornado warning. It doesn't hurt to stay safe in this location. We had a question about Louisville. Louisville, you are good. You are well out of the tornado threat. So good news for Louisville. But yeah, right here, Maplewood Park and Hubbard, we have gotten a confirmed tornado from both spotters and the National Weather Service. So things can change very, very quickly. And we do see some evidence of lofted debris. So that's not good. We can see right here where what we're looking at is a debris tracker, and we should see all pink. If there were no debris, this image would be all pink, and it is. We're seeing some of what the radar is saying is basically picking up things that aren't precipitation. If the radar is picking up just precipitation, it's basically not going to show us anything using this product. But if it's picking up things that are irregularly shaped, like shingles or wood, that don't fit the bill when it comes to rain or hail, it is going to register, and it does seem like we're registering some debris. So this is not a good situation. Again, Maple Park. On our map, you'll see that Sharon line right there, State Route 616 in the far northern corner of Youngstown, southern portion of Hubbard. You do need to be in your safe spot if you're in Hubbard. Okay, so then this latest radar scan has strengthened a little bit. So I am to believe we do have a tornado on the ground now. Not a good situation. Tornado on the ground near south of Hubbard and northeast Youngstown. So that's north of Coatesville, north of Camel. I do believe Camel is safe. I believe Louisville and Struthers are safe. If you're anywhere else in Mahoning County, you are fine. So if you're out here in Lake Milton, you're hearing sirens. If you're down in Sebring or even Alliance and you're hearing sirens, you are okay. It's this part, the far northeastern corner of Youngstown, even downtown Youngstown should be all right. It is right here, Maplewood Park, Hubbard, south of US 62, State Route 616, the county line. This should cross into, if it's not already in Trumbull County, it should cross into Trumbull County very soon. And then not soon after that, it'll cross into Pennsylvania. So again, we now have a observed tornado warning. This tornado warning will run for another 18 minutes. And it is moving east at 20 miles per hour. So it's not moving very fast right now. The tornado on the ground, if it is currently on the ground, which I am to believe that it is, it's going to be entering and just south of Hubbard. So this latest scan shows it in the very far corner of Mahoning County, so very far east side of Youngstown. So leaving Youngstown, it's near the William Holmes McGuffey Wildlife Preserve. That's where the tornado would be. So Hubbard, you still need to be in your safe spot because it's very close to you. Far east side of Youngstown. And if we have anybody watching in Pennsylvania right now, so if we have anybody watching in Mercer or Lawrence County, Pennsylvania, this could be crossing into both of those counties, straddling Lawrence and Mercer County, Pennsylvania. So again, there is a good chance that a tornado is on the ground east side of Youngstown, about to cross into Pennsylvania, south side of Hubbard. All of these areas need to be in their safe spot right now. So, yeah, this was a tricky situation here. The radar data is of okay quality here. And if we look at this storm, the storm has really kind of come together over the last 30 minutes or so. And I'm going to pause this and I'm going to try to find, yeah, right here. It looks like the potential tornado came from the north side of Liberty Township, possibly clipped Hubbard, and then moved over Maplewood Park and is now in Mahoning County. So yeah, and it moved quickly. It's the warning was saying 20 miles per hour, but I don't know. I have a feeling it moved faster than that. So, wow. Okay. So, yeah, dangerous situation here. It is about to leave Ohio. It is about to cross into Pennsylvania. So, Mercer and Lawrence County, even though you don't have a tornado warning, you should be in your safe spot. If there is a tornado still on the ground, it's likely right here along County Road 172, County Road 219 Mahoning County, not Medina County. And it's about to cross into Pennsylvania. So, if you're on the south side of Hubbard, you still need to be watching. All right, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to track the trajectory of this. It looks like when the warning was issued, the rotation was over Girard in Liberty Township, and then it became broad, strengthened, and maybe dropped a tornado near the Youngstown Country Club, crossed US 62, stayed on the ground near Maplewood Park, crossed into Mahoning County, and is now heading towards Pennsylvania. So, in fact, the National Weather Service in Pittsburgh has now issued a tornado warning for Lawrence County in western PA. And this tornado warning is going to run until 7:30. It says a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles south of Farrell or 9 miles south of Sharon. In New Bedford, PA is probably the next spot that I would be most concerned about with this. But right now, the rotation is straddling the state line. It's still in Mahoning County. And there it is. It's moving southeast. So, County Road 219, County Road 170, New Bedford. If we have anyone watching from New Bedford, PA, you should be in your safe spot. Although, the good news is this latest radar scan has broadened the rotation a little bit. So maybe the tornado has lifted, but I would not hedge any bets on that just yet. There's definitely radar evidence that a tornado may have dropped starting near Liberty Township, through Maplewood Park, into Mahoning County, and now about to cross into Pennsylvania. So still treat this as a very serious situation. We have a report of lights flickering in Lowellville. Trumbull County, you should be in good shape now. We still have that tornado warning for the Hubbard area for another 13 minutes, but I do believe the area of concern is now in Mahoning County and heading towards New Bedford, Pennsylvania. So New Bedford, Pennsylvania is where this is at this time. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to reflectivity mode. It looks like there's a little pink on the radar. I'm going to turn on the debris tracker. Yeah, we could actually have still potentially continuing tornado. Again, this image should all be pink. And if we see blues mixing in, that tells me that there is a possible tornado on the ground. And if it's on the ground, it's right along US 422 in New Bedford. So it's crossing into Pennsylvania right now, just south of the Tanglewood Golf Course near New Bedford, Pennsylvania. So a tornado potentially ongoing near New Bedford, Pennsylvania. And yes, the Weather Service agrees. They have changed that warning to an observed tornado warning. Radar confirmed tornado warning near New Bedford, Pennsylvania. And that is the word. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, that means if you're in Hubbard or Youngstown, you are likely clear. Even though the tornado warning is still continuing until 7:15, you are likely clear in Hubbard and Youngstown. However, a tornado is likely on the ground in New Bedford, Pennsylvania. This is really close to our coverage area, so we'll stick with it a little bit longer. And just to kind of give you guys an overall view of what's going on, we still do have a few thunderstorms here in southern Ashtabula County. These have not become severe, and I don't think they will, but we're going to be watching them. And a few pop-ups really across the state. That's what we're looking at right now. Just a few pop-up thunderstorms, still possible as the cold front passes. And this cold front is really going to give us some nice weather tomorrow. Highs in the 70s, sunshine, a beautiful day for July. But boy, are we going to have a lot of damage to sift through and clean up from today, especially the flooding. Still some ongoing flash flood warnings from earlier storms today in southeastern Ohio. So that's what's going on. If you're hearing thunder elsewhere across the state, there is no threat for tornadoes right now. In fact, I do believe the tornado threat has left Ohio. We are now seeing a tornado near New Bedford, Pennsylvania. There's good evidence on radar that this is a tornado that is impacting New Bedford. It's no longer looking like it's in Mahoning County. It now looks like it is in New Bedford, PA. So if you know anybody who lives in Pennsylvania, Lawrence County, Pennsylvania, really needs to be keeping an eye on this this storm. It looks pretty impressive both on reflectivity, so that's the radar, and on velocity it seems to be weakening a little bit, so that's good news. But I still do see a debris signature over New Bedford. So there's still a weak debris signature over New Bedford. And that is New Bedford, Pennsylvania. So just across the state line from the Youngstown area. No longer impacting Youngstown or Hubbard, but it is near New Bedford, Pennsylvania. Okay. So that's what's going on there. We'll stick with this for a few more minutes. And we'll see how this evolves as it continues to move into Pennsylvania. But it looks like the threat for Ohio has ended. Well, I'm going to take a look to see if I have any words to pass along from either the Weather Service or the rest of our team here at Ohio News and Weather. Let's see. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think the threat for Ohio has diminished, which is good news there. So we're probably going to end our stream here, maybe about 7:10. I do want to stress that I still think this storm bears watching as it continues into Pennsylvania. In fact, we may actually have an update from the Weather Service in Cleveland. Yes. Okay. The update is the tornado warning for Trumbull and Mahoning will expire at 7:15. The storm which prompted the warning has moved out of the area. Okay. So yes, Youngstown and Hubbard, you are in the clear, but we're still watching it here as it moves through Pennsylvania. Or I should say Lawrence County, PA. This is still a significant situation for New Bedford, PA. We're seeing some rotation between Villa Maria and Frizzleburg. And still a little bit of debris on our radar. So why don't we take a look at our debris signature and move backwards and see what data we have? Because, yes, if a tornado did develop, it looks like it would have developed near Girard and Liberty, moved through the northeast side of Youngstown, southern side of Hubbard and Liberty, and then tracked into Pennsylvania, where it now could be producing a tornado moving away from New Bedford and toward Frizzleburg right now. So yes, we did have a very likely occurrence of a tornado. Both spotters and the Weather Service have confirmed that that is likely the case. So still an observed tornado warning in Lawrence County, Pennsylvania. That'll run until 7:30. So we'll see if the National Weather Service in Pittsburgh decides to extend that. It probably really just depends on whether the storm maintains its strength as it moves further into Pennsylvania. So anybody in Lawrence County, Pennsylvania, really needs to be looking out for this. We still see a hook echo near Frizzleburg. I still see some rotation near Frizzleburg, and even a little bit of debris, but the debris does not look as strong as it did as it was back in Ohio. So this is going to bear watching for quite some time. So again, if you know anyone in Lawrence County, please get a hold of them and make sure that they're safe. Just another look before we end the stream here. We do have some pop-up thunderstorms still occurring across the Buckeye State. But like this one near Bell Fountain in Sydney, right now it does not seem dangerous, just a brief heavy downpour, thunder, and lightning. So, all right, well, I hope everybody in the Valley region is safe. Thank you for tuning in. I will pop off air now, but stay tuned to Ohio News and Weather for any other updates beyond this, and, of course, for any debris